Your true home in turn, so farming and sowing and reaping were.
Traveler? I'm waiting on a friend of mine to bring me something very important. Oh, Versadu! My sweet little scaly friend! I was so lonely without him. Thank you, Traveler. You don't know what it means to have Versadu by my side again. Please, take this. It's the least I can do. Thank you for bringing Versadu back. He's my little king. I couldn't imagine life without him. Still, I'm missing a piece of home. I asked Marcian to trap some guzzards for me, but they haven't returned. I'll reward you if you catch them for me. I asked them to trap some guzzards for me as pets, an adolescent and an adult. They remind me of my home back in Craglorn. I also lost my dear pet wormmouth, Versadu, on the journey here. If anyone can bring these creatures to me, it's Marcian.
I will bring your murderer to justice, Father. This, I swear. You've come to the town of Ontis at an unfortunate time, Traveler. I myself have only just returned. Coming home to bury one's father is never an easy thing. What other explanation is there? My father, Oberyn, was town constable. He wrote to me about investigating some suspicious deaths. Then suddenly, I get a letter telling me he had died. I requested leave from the Legion and returned as fast as I could. Not yet. First, I volunteered to replace him as constable. Then I had to make the arrangements to bury him. With multiple deaths to investigate, I need to hire a deputy. So what do you say, Traveler? Interested in the job? Your first task is to familiarize yourself with what's happening here. The graveyard is a good place to start. Notice the number of recent markers and the similar causes of death. Go on. We can talk again after you examine the newer grave markers. Ontis attracts workers from both the Highlands and Hammerfell. It's known for its prosperous ranch, and the quarry has made a fortune supplying Cyrodiil with stone to repair keeps on all sides of the war. As a legionary, I'm not thrilled about that. I was. Still am, I suppose. My commanding officer granted me leave to put my father's affairs in order. When that's done, then I'll decide if I'm still needed here, or if my place is back with the Westweald Legion. Tell me your thoughts, Deputy. You examined the newest grave markers. Give me your impressions, Deputy. Indeed. My father wrote that both the ranch and the quarry were working their laborers very hard of late. But prior to this, I never heard of a fever that strikes down strong, healthy workers in the prime of their lives. They call it fatigue fever. So the town leaders would have everyone believe. My father made no mention of feeling unwell in his last letter. It was dated the same day he died. He often wrote to me about his investigations, said it helped him think through all the permutations. Just that he was baffled. He described fatigue fever as a strange illness that was killing workers, but he had a feeling there was more involved in the deaths. He suspected foul play, and so do I. All right, enough chatter. Let's get back to it. Talk to some of the townsfolk. They may be more willing to open up to a stranger than to me. You'd be surprised what ordinary folk pick up on when those in power fail to notice. My father's letter said he was planning to question Graku at the stone chip, ranch overseer Marak, and quarry boss Larina. Let's start where he left off and talk to them. Then, check my father's office. I haven't been able to do that yet. Just see what they have to say about recent events. The deaths of their fellow workers. My father. What they think about fatigue fever. My father must have assumed they had something to tell him. We need to follow up on that. My father's office. My office now, I suppose. It's been unoccupied since he died. I know I need to go in there. Take stock of things, but it's hard. If you could see if anything related to our investigation stands out, I'd appreciate it.
Despite rumors to the contrary, Carvane Ranch only hires qualified applicants. Seasoned ranch hands only. We have no time or inclination to train novices. And we especially have no need of rowdies. Perhaps you should inquire at the quarry, Ah, I see. I had an appointment to speak to her late father. Unfortunately, he succumbed to that terrible malady before that occurred. I'll tell you what I plan to tell him. No crime plagues the town of Ontis, just a lamentable disease. Isn't that the nature of law keepers? To see a crime behind every event, guilt is the source of every motivation? Baron Carvane ordered me to cooperate, as long as it didn't interfere with the business of the ranch. You really are new. The Baron owns Carvane Ranch, which feeds most of Westweald. This fatigue fever, as it has come to be known, is a burden on business, but you can't toss a disease in the dungeon. If there is nothing else, good day to you.
Another worker out sick, and right after one of my best died in his sleep. You look strong. Interested in making some coin in the quarry, stranger? Constable Ulbrin's daughter? Look, if this is about that conversation I had with Yabrin's father, I must have been mistaken. I don't know anything about the illness, other than I've lost more quarriers lately than I can replace. Briefly, I thought I noticed something, but I was wrong. Besides, he died before we could talk more. Look, the illness is bad, but my remaining quarriers are more than making up for the workers we lost. Beyond that, I have nothing more to say. Listen, I'm just the crew boss. I hire quarriers and keep them busy. If you have questions beyond that, you need to talk to Lady Raxley. She owns the quarry and knows a lot more about what you're asking than I do. Now, I have a quarry to run.
God of bloodshed.
Why did we leave Hammerville, Kurthan?
You know why we left, my love.
But all we found here was hard work and terrible sickness.
Hard work is the same all over. And the illness will pass.
I hope so, Kurthan. I hope so.
Let fire and flood fill another's chamber.
Welcome to the Stone Ship Tavern and Gambling Den, stranger. Looking for work in Ontis? Or did you come to our fine establishment because you heard we host the best games of chance this side of the Strid? So you're Yabrin's new deputy? Good. She could use the help. I'm not sure I could come back and dive into work after losing someone as close as Yabrin was to her father. What can I tell you, deputy? Constable Albrin was a good man. Kept the peace here. Made sure the workers, both native townsfolk and recent arrivals, got along. He was a friend. I know he was concerned about the illness spreading through town. Shame it killed him. We talked all the time. As I said, we were friends. He'd sometimes inquire if there was any chatter in the stone chip he needed to worry about. But the only news I can think of is that a lot of our regulars from the quarry haven't been in a while. Not much to tell. We're a small town full of hardworking people. Most everyone is employed by the Carvane Ranch or the Raxley Quarry. Baron Carvane and Lady Raxley have always had sort of a friendly rivalry, but lately it seems less cordial. The ranch makes a substantial profit providing food for the town and the region. While the quarry has had some success, since the war for the throne heated up, it's begun to challenge the Baron's status and put a strain on their relationship. It's the illness affecting the workers. Took Constable Albrin, too. We saw the first signs of it a few months back. It started innocently enough. Most thought everyone was working too hard. But then those with the illness started dying. He was? That's a good question. I suppose maybe it was a little strange that only people who work at the ranch or the quarry were getting sick. Until, that is, Healer Navalma and Albrin got ill. The disease came upon them and they died very quickly. The ranch makes a substantial profit providing food for the town and the region. While the quarry has had some success, since the war for the throne heated up, it's begun to challenge the Baron's status and put a strain on their relationship. It's the illness affecting the workers. Took Constable Albrin, too. We saw the first signs of it a few months back. It started innocently enough. Most thought everyone was working too hard. But then those with the illness started dying. He was? That's a good question. I suppose maybe it was a little strange that only people who work at the ranch or the quarry were getting sick. Until, that is, Healer Navalma and Albrin got ill. The disease came upon them and they died very quickly.
Let's go fast.
Deputy, were you able to interview the townsfolk I suggested? I wonder what my father hoped to get out of talking to them. I know this is all tied to fatigue fever. I just don't know how. What about the constable's office? Did you find anything important there? My father's notebook? It describes how productivity increased lately at both the quarry and the ranch. Interesting. And he mentions how the town healer died suddenly before she could share her findings. 2 suspicious deaths that break the pattern. That 2 healthy people not connected to the ranch or quarry, were suddenly inflicted with fatigue fever and died faster than any other victims. My father planned to talk to Baron Carvane and Lady Raxley next. Do that, while I investigate the healer. Let's rally at the Stone Chip Tavern when you're done, Deputy.
The Carvane Ranch does not sell to individual buyers. This is not a general store. Might I suggest the markets in Skingrad? Or perhaps you can purchase a meal at the Stone Chip Tavern. Glad to hear that young Yabrin has gotten right to work. Her father would be proud. But I am uncertain as to what I can tell you that would help advance her investigation. What exactly is she investigating, by the way? I didn't realize that sickness and illness were now the purview of the town constable. I can tell you what I know. A strange disease has befallen workers at my ranch and at Raxley's quarry. Unfortunate, but there's no crime that I can see. Is it? No matter. None of this is a concern to me, and I have no idea how to help you. I have enough to do just to keep the ranch running in these difficult times. So if there is nothing else, I'll bid you good day and good luck with your inquiries.
Back is wide. Good ships along Leo and Quay await the morning tide. In ale as well we took on oar, had Wakelovian bread. Timber we shipped in Bravo port, then sailed for Blackwood Head.
If you're looking for work, please talk to quarry boss Lorena. I have more important things to do than deal with common laborers. Yabrin's back? I assumed she was fighting in Cyrodiil, or guarding the Count's precious bear. If this is about Ulbrin's suspicions, I'll tell you what I told the healer. My quarriers enjoy the rewards that come with hard work. Illness is not an issue. Did it? I don't recall any standing appointments. The constable always treated me with the respect I deserve. He never found it inconceivable that Emperor Leovic personally granted an Argonian an imperial title. Not like Baron Carvane. My business is none of your concern. We struggled in the past, and were almost forced to sell to Carvane, but we turned things around. All it took was a war, a demand for stone, and for our quarriers to work a little harder. Now, please leave.
I heard you uncovered a lost shrine at Fungal Grotto. How eerie.
Golden goblets overflow with wine. A sultry dancer with eyes so fine. A circlet of rubies crowns her head. Hang the blankets as you fall in bed. Hot crease drips into the great thing's eyes.
Deputy, over here. Deputy, I have a message for you from Constable Yabrin. The constable said she found something at the healers that pointed to a possible source of fatigue fever. She asked me to let you know, and that you should meet up with her. She wants you to help her search Carvane Manor and Lady Raxley's tower. That I couldn't say. She wasn't exactly eager to share the details of her investigation in the middle of a town gambling den. But between you and me, if Carvane and Raxley aren't guilty of this, they sure as Tusk are guilty of something. Carvane Manor's south of town, on the Carvane Ranch. Watch yourself there. The ranch hands don't take kindly to trespassers. As for Lady Raxley's tower, it's north of town, looming over the quarry.
Oh! Traveler! Can you stop? I'm very lost. And a bit woozy. Oh. Hello there. Where are you and who are we? Maybe. Well, I don't know. I'm lost and drunk. Very drunk. I just started a new job. At a vineyard. Somewhere in Westfield. I don't know my way around here that well. The one with the grapes. They give you a few bottles when you sign on. I thought Westfield wine would be piddly, like elf wine. Let me tell you, it's not. So, which way should I go to get somewhere? Anywhere. Preferably the vineyard. Great, yes. Tell me. I've got work in the morning. Don't want to be late. Skin Grad? Who is Grad and why are we skinning him? Oh, you mean the city of Skingrad. Right. Off I go. Thank you. I hope I remember all this in the morning because you're my new best friend. I love friends so much.
Ah, there you are. We should investigate Zegger's Blind next. I'm interested in what you found, and you can tell me on the way. I want to check out Zegger's Blind. I heard more than one of the hired mercenaries mention the name, as I made my way to find you. It's just to the northeast of the town,